Very beautiful and perfect. Yeah.
Great.
Hello, good evening from Dubai. This is Adnan Suhail live with you, and today in another webinar, another guest with me is Hamid Saeed. Let me first quickly give you an introduction that because the topic which we are going to talk today is very much not only interesting, but actually it's need of the time. I've seen personally, because I meet with a lot of students, with individuals who are asking for career advice, and I talk with those people. So one thing which I always notice that people might be very much good to talk about profession and about the technical knowledge. But the thing which people miss, that is that how they have to appear, how they have to present themselves while they are going in a meeting or while they are presenting themselves on any big day. It could be your job interview day, it could be your meeting with your client, or it could be anything, annual day at your workplace. So your dressing does matter a lot, and that's exactly the thing which today we are going to talk with an expert. Hamid Saeed, he is an international image and wardrobe consultant from New York. He has got over 2 decades of experience helping professionals to project an impressive and right image. Hamid has dressed top politicians, businessman, and executive from the Fortune 500 companies from United States of America. He has his roots in Pakistan, so he conducted a lot of sessions where he is teaching, he's telling people what are the dressing etiquettes in a professional life. In Pakistan, he has conducted grooming sessions, Dress for Success training programs for Pakistan, Civil Services Academy, Judicial Academy, Institute of Management Accountant Pakistan, Institute of Chartered Accountant Pakistan, Lahore University of Management Sciences, LUMS, State Life Insurance, and a lot more. Like the list goes and goes and goes. So he's got all those tools, he has got those skills to tell people that what exactly they should do in order to impress others. But first of all, I would like to welcome Hamid Saeed on the show, and I would like to ask him his story, that why he chosen this thing as a profession. So welcome, Mr. Hamid Saeed, on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm very excited to be on your show. And thank you very much for this elaborate, introduction. Let me tell you a little bit about myself in my own words. As far as my credentials are concerned, I'm an engineer from Pakistan, UAT, and then I went to America, soul searching, and just wanted to see what I want to do in my life, where my heart is, where my passion is. And then I landed first at university there. I did my MBA. I thought that this might do it. I mean, and then I taught for a little bit. I had passion for that as well. And then I got into the business world. Let me tell you what I learned from engineering and then an MBA, and then I'll tell you the rest of my journey in life. engineering taught me how to, understand. I understood logic, and everything is based on some sort of rationale. I also learned from engineering that how to connect the dots. I mean, you see something, you hear something, you read something, and then you go, uh-huh, and so that's like the kind of connecting the dots. And the third thing I learned from engineering was how to take a big problem and solve it. I mean, life is full of problems, business is full of problems. And so what you do is you take the big problem and then you divide them into small problems, and then you see that eventually the big problem gets solved. And so my logic, I just continued it throughout my business career, and even in fashion and image consultation. If I'll tell you something, if I'll say like, this color is good for you, I'll give you a rationale for it. Your eye color, your hair color, your skin tone is like this, and that's probably why this color is good for you. So I will speak to you with logic, which I learned way back then. uh, as far as the MBA is concerned, I learned how the business world operates. So I know you guys must be from different businesses, different expertise. And so if I don't know how the business world operates, if I don't know what the banker's job is and what the investment banker's job is, if I don't know what accountants what they do, and I don't know the bottom line, I don't know the lingo. I mean, how could I say that? Okay, I can tell this person how to dress or how to project the right image. So that helped me. And then my search continued, and obviously I was looking for something that where I can park myself and I can say, okay, this is it, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life there. And actually what I was looking for, the criteria was like where I can add value. And if I can add value, then I'm sure that I'll be able to spend the rest of my life there. So that's when I went to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology. And fashion, I mean, I'm a science and math student all my life. Anybody's listening to me has been a science and math student. I can tell you this: you may have the creative side of you which you probably never explored, and I would encourage you to do that if you're not happy with what you're doing. So anyway, I went there, and as soon as I got there, I really knew this is my calling. This is what I want to do in my life. And my real challenge started, by the way, when I got out of there. And then I said, okay, what am I going to really do? And as you know, that most of the designers and most of the image consultants and all that, I mean, they open up their own boutique, or they open up their own brand, or they open up their own collection, and or they work for a fashion house, or they go for production. And when I said to myself, I said, oh my God, I said, I don't know, I don't want to do any one of those things. So then I was still at the crossroad of my life. And then I did some more soul searching. And then I realized that what I want to do is if I can build a concept, something new, something, revolutionary, so to speak, and where I can help people out, then that's something that I might want to do. And then I started realizing that, I mean, women all over the world, and especially in Pakistan also, they get a lot of help, and they have innate sense and everything. So, they know the colors more than men. And most of the men that I know, they have colorblind. They don't even know what color is this, how to put it together and all that. So anyway, I figured, I thought that if I can come up with a very, very, compelling formula, how to project the right image, professionally speaking, for men and women, I think I could, I could live with that. So I came up with, thank God that 5 P's of dressing, which I'll be sharing with you in detail. And that's something that is my claim to fame. And I mean, you must have heard about 2 P's and 3 P's and 2 C's and 4 C's, but you have never heard about 5 P's of dressing. I'm very excited about that since the get-go, since I came out of the gates. And then I was able to go to, as you just mentioned, politicians and governor of New York. Let me just tell you, how it worked. I mean, like, so I gave her the gates and I said, okay, where am I going to go? Should I start at the bottom? Should I start at the top? And I figure like, hey, I think I have a great formula here. Why should I go to the top? So the very first appointment I got was the governor of New York. So when I got there, I mean, this is the conversation. Let me tell you I mean, these are heavyweight people. So as soon as I got in, he knew that I was there for some sort of dressing appointment, and he looked at me. He said, "Okay, so I've been dressing all my life. I've been wearing suits all my life. So what is that you can tell me? What is that you have so special that I should be listening to you?" And I said to him, I said, "Yes, sir. I know that suits are, the suits. I mean, this is not our dress, Pakistani dress. I mean, it's a European American dress and all that." So anyway, I said, "Sir, I said, let me tell you this why I think you should give me an opportunity." And he said, "Yes." I said, "Go ahead." And I said, "I have developed 5 P's of dressing." He said, "5 P's of dressing? I've never heard of that." He said, "Okay, so tell me
Hmm.
about it." And we start talking about the first P, which is pigmentation. And I said, "Sir, I said the color of suit and the color of shirt and the color of tie, that should be comparable to your eye color, hair color, skin tone." And he said to me, he said, "Nobody's ever told me this." And then,
Hmm.
he said, I'm convinced. So he gave me the opportunity. That's where I took it all over the United States and everything. And with my now
Right.
with conviction to help Pakistan and people here, I'm here in Pakistan right now.
Right, right. Amazing. That's really quite entertaining and interesting story that how overall you shifted your career. And a lot of people who are watching us from the different part of the world this session today, because they talk with me, ask me that what career they should choose. People study something, and then after that they find your calling, as you said that your calling, their calling defined in something different. So it means that people, if they have studied something different and later in life they find something else is more satisfying, they can still make a career in that. They can switch their career into that. And we are having this beautiful example from Hamid Saeed, who is telling that what
Absolutely.
he had studied and where he has landed and where he is now growing up.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I would encourage you. I mean, anybody that who is like in a rut, let me tell you, the worst thing in life is that you're doing something you hate it, and you go to
Right.
work, and every day you say, "Oh my God, I gotta go to work," and then you hate the place, you hate the people over there, and then you hate the company over there, and then you become very bitter, and then you take it all on your family and whoever and the friends and all that. It's a terrible way of living. Why to live that way? If you're smart and all that, and God is giving you all the capabilities and everything, hey, go do, find your passion, find your love, find
Mm.
what makes you go. That's what I
Sounds
would
good.
say.
Yeah. So, Hamid, here, please tell us from the beginning. Some people say that first impression does matter. And when we call first impression, it means that what someone is wearing. And then there is a misconcept, or there is a concept, or there is a myth that people say that, okay, when you meet first time, the dressing, it's having its own impact. But after that, nothing, because then what you are talking, that matters more. So can you please tell us about this first impression? Then what is the role of dressing in first impression? And while you are sitting with someone during that meeting and you are having a communication or conversation for next half an hour, 1 hour, so does really dressing matter throughout the period of time, or it's just a matter of first impression?
you know you have broken down to like very very fine point and all that, and so let's address that first. So, I'm a dressing guy, and I've been over 2 decades, like you just mentioned in your intro, that I must have dressed like more than 50,000 men and women in my lifetime. So this is has been my focus for the last 2 decades. But having said that, I'm a dressing guy. Let me tell you what I believe in. Okay, dressing is not a substitute of education. Dressing is not a substitute of experience. Dressing is not a substitute of technical knowledge. Dressing is not a substitute of your skill set. Dressing is not a substitute of your moral character. So anybody who like wants to pin me over there, I'm gonna be like saying I don't want to be pinned. I mean, so basically, if you have no education, if you have no skill set, if you have no experience, I would say go back to college, university, and go through the hard knocks of streets and learn this. Okay, in other words, what I want to say is this: that if you don't know all this, and I mean, I even if I put you in $1,000 suit, I mean, it's not going to help you, because the moment you're going to open your mouth, you're not going to be that person that the other people think that you are. So having said that, and this stays me clear from all these objections that, hey, you just talk only about dressing. And no, I don't talk about only about dressing. So now let me tell you, having said that, now let's talk about first impression. First impression extremely important. First impression are, I always start my presentation with this, that you get into a room full of people or a person that you're going to meet, or for that matter, whoever you're going to be meeting, even if it's a business meeting or a social meeting, or it doesn't matter what the agenda is. Let me tell you what happens. As soon as you walk in, you are saying a lot of things about yourself. You are conveying a lot of messages. The first message that you convey is, what social class do you belong to? I mean, like, do you belong to that affluent, that top, affluent segment of the society? Do you belong to like a middle class? Do you belong to lower middle class? Do you belong to like lower middle class? Do you belong to a village? Do you belong to, for that matter? Now, let me tell you this. I mean, people will judge you and you will judge people, because it's a two-way street. But it's not important where you belong from or you belong to. What's most important is, do you look well groomed? If you look well groomed, let me tell you this. I mean, you've done a great job. I mean, nobody's going to question you. Nobody's going to ask you like, oh, by the way, tell me about your background. Actually, while I'm talking about this, I'll tell you there are two big equalizer in world, and wherever you go, they will help you. Number one is education, and the other one is how to dress, and you dress appropriately. And if you have this, I know you're from Dubai. We're speaking from Dubai, and I've been in New York for over 2 decades, and I know that how things are out there. And if there are a lot of Pakistanis listening to me, you will agree with me that if you have these two things, let me tell you this: you are way up there. Nobody's going to question you. So that's the first thing that you communicate through your dressing. The second most important thing that you communicate through your dressing is, again, you walked in, you didn't say a single word out of your mouth yet, and you are telling people how successful you are. I mean, like, and if you don't look successful, then what do you look? I mean, you look unsuccessful. I mean, it's like a no-brainer. And I've been going out in Pakistan. I must have spoken to like thousands of people here and in America. Not even a single person says that I want to look unsuccessful. If you look unsuccessful, I mean, the game is over, my friend. I mean, you may be very educated, you may be, you have a great skill set, you have this, but you look unsuccessful. You will have to work very hard to prove your point. You will have to work very, very hard to, move your agenda forward. So that's the second thing that you communicate. Again, you haven't said a single word. And the third, the even most important thing that you communicate through your clothing is how confident you are. I mean, if you don't look confident, what do you look? You're not confident. And I tell you something, whether you're going for a job interview or you're going for a strategic business meeting, or you're going to see an important client or close the deal or whatever, if you don't look confident, I mean, who's going to do business with you? Who's going to hire you? I mean, you may have a great product, you may be working for a great company, but you don't look confident. Why should they have confidence in your company? Why should they have confidence in your product? And that's how we take it. So you must look confident. And then the fourth thing, which is extremely important, is again that how competent you look, how knowledgeable you look, and how how educated you look. I mean, for God's sake, if you're educated, you don't look educated. I mean, like, what gives? I mean, come on. I mean, it's not going to work. I mean, I've seen so many people getting hurt in their career. I know you talk about careers and everything. Tell them this, teach them this, that you may have tons and tons of education. You may have all these degrees and everything. You're very educated, but you don't look educated out for that title or that position. I'm not saying that, you don't look educated at all. I mean, I've seen in Pakistan, I've seen all over the world, people who said, hey, I don't care, I will look messy, I'll look sloppy, I'll look whatever way. I am me, when I'll speak, I'll conquer the world. So I tell them this, I say, okay, you have a great thing going for you. You're a very smart guy. Why don't you look smart? Why don't you make it a double whammy for yourself? So that's very important. And last two things that I tell you, again, you haven't said a single word. And these two things, if you don't have that through your communication, through your clothing, I'm an expert on nonverbal communication. I'll share with you some of the research and experts other than me that who what they say about this. And those two things are this. Now watch my lips. Trustworthy and credible. And I tell you something, if you don't look trustworthy, if you don't look credible, my friend, game is again over. I mean, you walk in and you don't look trustworthy. You may have a great company behind you, may have a great product behind you. Let me tell you this: it's going to be very uphill battle. So you must look
Hmm.
trustworthy, incredible. And I tell you something throughout this session, and if you remind me, I'll share with you, how you obviously now look at this. You need to look all these things. And you cannot go into a
Hmm.
meeting and say all these things. I'm a successful guy. You cannot say that. You cannot say I'm a confident guy. You cannot say like, hey, I come from a great family, this, that, whole bit. And you cannot have a signboard here saying that all these things. And so how are you
Hmm.
gonna say it? The only medium you have left is your appearance and your attire and your aura about you and your appearance. I mean, your attitude about you and your package about you. And that's what's going to communicate. And if you cannot communicate through that, let me tell you again. And I can assure you, I've been around the globe and many times, and I've dealt with all kinds of top level people, mid level people, and the students as well who are going to college and universities. So I covered the gamut. You are going to be at
Hmm.
great disadvantage. So
Right.
that's what nonverbal communication is.
Sounds interesting. Here you mentioned, before I asked this question, you were talking about 5 P's of dressing, and where you started to talk about first one, which was pigmentation. So can you tell us a bit more details that what are further 4 P's? One is if pigmentation, and what is importance of each in this scientific formula of dressing?
First of all, let me tell you a story about pigmentation and why it's
Yeah.
important and how I mean how it relates to the business world. And you might think like some people might think it very lightly. Say, hey, this is like a women thing. This is like a sissy thing about color, this that. I mean, man, I gotta go there. I gotta I gotta handle like big things and all that. Now,
Hmm.
let me tell you, my second appointment, which took place, was with the president of Bar Association of New York. Okay, I mean, not a lightweight guy again. I mean, So anyway, I walked in. I had a meeting with him. He was very gracious. He came out, sitting there behind his desk. Came out. He, warmly welcomed me and everything. And now this is my habit. I mean, I do this. I mean, this is my profession. So I look at
Hmm.
whoever I see. I look at what they're wearing. So I looked at him. I knew what he was wearing. He was wearing Armani suit. I knew he was wearing Italian shirt. I knew he was wearing Hermes tie, which are the most expensive ties in the world. And I knew that he was wearing Bali's shoes. I mean, just like looking at like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And I
Hmm.
took a look.
Hmm.
And also, I looked at his coloration. I looked at his coloration. His coloration, let me describe it to you. I mean, he had the lightest brown hair, lightest brown. I mean, eyebrows, I could not see from this distance, they were so light. And his
Hmm.
complexion and his skin tone was so delicate. So, anyway, he comes and greets me. And so he said to me, he said, oh, very nice to have you. But you have only 1 minute to tell me what you have
Hmm.
to tell me. Now,
Wow.
in 1 minute, what can you tell in 1 minute? Except your name and what you do and everything. So anyway, and he said, look, tell me something substantial in 1 minute. And he said, I'm very busy and I have a busy schedule. And I knew he's a New Yorker. He's going to show me the door. I mean, if I don't tell him something
Hmm.
substantial in 1 minute, he really means
Yeah.
it. So anyway, this is what I tell them. I said, okay, sir, in 1 minute I can tell you this. In a very substantial way. I said, this white shirt is not good for you. So as soon as I said that, I
All
knew
right.
that he's going to attack me. Say, a lawyer. I mean, president of bar association, it's a uniform. So how dare I, like say white shirt is not good for him. So again, I knew that. And then he said to me, he said, what did you say? This white shirt's not good for me? I said, yes, sir. I said, this white shirt's not good for me, for you. And he said, by the way, what country are you from? What's your name again? Sarcastically said that. And I said, I'm Hamid Saeed, I'm from Pakistan and all this. So he said, so what's wrong with my white shirt? So I said to him, I said, what's wrong with your white shirt? I said, I see the white shirt, I don't see you. So he got very intrigued. He said, what do you mean? Like, I said, this shirt is overpowering you, sir. So as soon as he said that, you want to know something? You know what he said? He said to me, he said, you're a very interesting guy. Why don't you sit down? So he got intrigued and I got him engaged. And when I got him engaged, I knew that the big question is going to come and he's going to say, okay, prove it to me. And I tell you something, it's another thing I learned in my life. Whenever you go, my friends, you should be very well prepared because you're not going to get a second chance. to make your argument. So, you should have your work cut out for you. I mean, you should be very ready. So I was ready. I said, sir, I can prove it to you. I said, with your permission, may I take your jacket off? So I took his jacket off, and then he was wearing a very nice cufflink shirt like I am wearing. And I said to him, I said, may I remove the cufflinks? You roll up the sleeves, and I did. And then I put 5 swatches there, small swatches. They were like about 1 inch square or something like that, small swatch. And I put all those 5 white swatches on it. You know those colors too. I put a bright white he was wearing, then I put a dull white, you know that. Then I put a eggshell color, that's also white. Then I put an ivory color, that's also white. Then I put that color there, which I thought would look fantastic on him. We call it ecru color. So I put that color. It's like a bosky color, like, it's like a white, but there's a hint of yellow in it. I put it. I said, sir, you be the judge. Tell me which color looks good on you, the best on you. And he pointed to the same thing which I was going to say. So what happens is this. I said, so may I ask you, why did you like this color? He said to me, he said the same thing which I normally say in my presentation. He said, my skin glows in this color. So this is the science of it. When your skin glows, that's the right color. When your eyes become more vibrant, that's the right color. When your eyes become more robust and you become more robust, you have more energy. This is what it does. I mean, a lot of people don't know that. They think like color is just what the heck, what the hell? Just gonna wear a shirt. So this is what, and then something, he got so intrigued. He said to me, okay, why don't you make me a shirt? And I made him a shirt. And not only that, I got his business. He opened so many doors for me. And he didn't even go to the rest of the 4 Ps. He said, I don't care about the rest of the 4 Ps because you are so compelling in the first P. So that's my first P. So don't think color is like just, okay, whatever the heck I wear, that's okay with me. So, okay, now let's say, for example, if it doesn't make you look very energetic, if it doesn't make you look very robust and fresh and all this, then what does it make you if you're wearing wrong color? Then what is it makes you look lethargic, it makes you look tired, it makes you look like you want to go to sleep, it makes you look like, you want to pack in. So now what's the business application of it? I mean, you're going to a meeting, all right? A very important meeting. You're going to close the sale or not close the sale, or you're going to land the job or not land the job, or you're going to go to that social contact, that might be your life partner in future. I mean, very important meeting that as well. And you don't look good and you look tired and you look lazy. I mean, who wants to hire somebody like that? I will not. I mean, say, okay, why should I hire? This guy looks so tired. This guy is like already out of life. I mean, why should, I want winning horses. I want somebody who can, so that's my first pigmentation. So again, I will say this to you. If you don't get the right colors, everything else is moved. Everything, this is how strong I will about that. The rest 4 Ps don't matter. So anyway, that's I would say that, you should know the colors and make sure that you get the right color. Now we move on to the second thing. Okay, should I follow fashion? Should I follow trend? What should I follow? I'm a professional guy. Should I look very fashiony? Should I look very trendy? I would say, you should follow fashion. You should follow trend, but not 100%. You should look contemporary. You should look modern. You should look updated. You should look, current with times. It's not like, you have this state-of-the-art product, state-of-the-art this, I have a state-of-the-art program, sir, and you're pushing that, and you are wearing clothes which are of dinosaur age. It's not going to make sense. The picture and words are not going to match. I tell you something, it's not going to work. Absolutely not going to work. So what you do is that you don't follow 100% fashion. You don't follow 100% trend, but, try to be with time. But so what do you follow? You follow your physique, that style is dictated by physique, not fashion and trend. So look at yourself. Are you short? Are you tall? Are you heavy? Are you tall and thin? Are you, tall and heavy? Because styling means, it's very specific to the body type. So let's say, for example, somebody's short. This guy's challenges are so many. It would take me 2 hours to describe it, but I'll give you solutions very quickly. Short men, you must make sure that your fit is immaculate, 100% perfect, no room for error. You know why? Because you have a short structure. Everything is clear, everything is profound, everything is obvious, everything is right in your face. I'm a tall guy, I'm like 6'3". I used to be 6'3", but I shrunk, 6'2" right now. But anyway, if I wear sleeves which are like about a half inch longer, who cares? Who the hell gives a damn? Nobody gives a damn. But because it won't show. But if you're a shorter guy, like 5'6" or under, man, you got to be very careful about that. Jacket length is hugely important. You got a jacket length
Mm.
which is a little longer. Let me tell you this: it's going to make you look even shorter. And then people are
Mm.
going to make fun of you and can say, "Oh, you're wearing like your dad's clothes or something like that." We have heard about that. And then if you wear a shorter jacket, then again it's like it's your brother's jacket. So this poor fellow
Mm.
doesn't get a break. And then the other problem is, how do you look powerful and how do you look like really strong person if you're short? I mean, so many. I would say stigmas associated with that. So my take on this is perfect fit, my friend. Strong collar, strong shoulders. You're not gonna have shoulders like too wide. You're not gonna have shoulder too tight. You're not gonna have everything must be perfect. Now let's say, for example, if you're a heavy guy, you're like you got to you built all over the lot. I mean, tummy's here, hips are here. I
Mm.
mean, your shoulders here. And then you say, oh, I'm a modern guy. I'm an updated guy. Oh, I heard like slim fit. I'm gonna wear a slim. I mean, slim fit is a disaster for you, disaster. Guess
Mm.
what's gonna happen? Your tummy's gonna be more accentuated in a slim fit. Maybe even
Yeah.
that button is gonna pop any minute. I mean, the shirt button. I mean, like, how can you sit in a meeting like so tight and everything? So anyway, the shoulders are
Mm.
gonna be like so humongous, and your biceps are gonna be showing, and your thighs and everything is gonna be like so. I would say accentuated in the wrong way. So then, in your case, hey, a little bit more forgiving fit, my friend. But on the other hand, don't go too extreme either. You're not gonna wear a tent. I mean, a lot of people I see, they're huge, they're big, and guess what? Instead of like trying to still look decent and good, what they do is they buy oversized clothes, and this is a tent.
Mm.
I mean, come on, you're a professional. You could do better. So that those also physique is what drives you. That's the second thing. And the third P is very, very important, is that personality. Your clothes should suit
Mm.
your personality. Now, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I cannot say that how many types of personality, but for like professional people, I've broken down to only two areas. One is you're a leader or leader type, or the other one is you're a follower. So if you're a leader, I mean, go for it. I mean, you want to be in the limelight, go for it. I mean, you deserve it, you work for it, and then you could look a little bit more stylish. Then you could experiment with a little bit more colors. But if you are that follower, which 95% of the world, there's nothing wrong with that. The world cannot operate without followers, good followers. They execute your vision, and all these visionary people and all that leader type of people. So anyway, if you're that, then like you can wear more conservative clothing, more traditional clothing. The bottom line and the punchline is this: clothing does not carry the man or the woman. Man or woman carries the clothing. So that's my third personality. So again, let's summarize it. You have to have the right color. If the color is not right, everything else will move. If the fit is not right. Oh, by the way, fit. I want to tell you one more thing. There's a guy who's the it guy, non-verbal communication guy. He's from Harvard. He's from MIT. He's not there, unfortunately, in this world anymore. But he did a phenomenal study on non-verbal communication of clothing. Now, I mean, it's like a mile-long study, a long PDF. Roman Jacobson, if you want to Google him up and look it up. And so, can you put the light on? It's on the iPad. So anyway, this is what he said in his research. Okay, in his research, what he said was that the fit. If you are wearing clothes which they don't fit you properly, you will look poor. You will look
Mm.
poor. And if they fit you properly, you're nicely tailored to your body and everything, you will look rich. Now he didn't say anything about how much does it cost. He didn't say about it. He didn't say that how people always say, oh, I don't have the budget, I don't have the money, I don't have this.
Mm.
I mean, believe me, it has nothing to do with it. I know you're going to ask me this question. So anyway,
Yes.
your personality is very, very important. You have to find clothing which is according to your personality. If it doesn't fit your personality, my friend, don't buy it. If it doesn't fit your color, the color is not right, do not buy it. Why you want to spend your hard-earned money on something that you're not going to look great? So why would you
Mm.
buy something and you're going to look like lousy in it? Why would you buy something which doesn't fit you? I mean, like, don't think like, people don't look at you. You're not invisible. I mean, I
Mm.
always I see people, they come to me and they're like in a bad shape, and I said, sir, I said, with all due respect, I said, can I talk to you? He said, sure, sure. I said, can I have an open talk, man-to-man talk? He said, sure. I said, sir, you are in this position and why you look this way? And you know what the guy tells me? He said, "Oh, I'm losing weight." And that's what, oh, I asked him, and I can assure you, you've been losing weight for the last 10 years. And he's going to take another 5 years to lose weight. And so I said, with respect, I said to them, I said, please, I said, let me ask you this, sir. I said, you can wait to lose weight. I said, the world is not waiting. World is not waiting. You go into the meetings today, sir. You are going to have meetings today. You're meeting people today. You're meeting clients today. You're doing interviews today. I mean, so dress for what you are today. And then, luckily, if you lose weight, then obviously you can get some other garments made. So that's the personality. And then we come to very, very important point. I tell you something. I have seen so many people get burned with this the fourth P that I'm going to tell you, and that's called position. You know how many times I see people, they buy a nice suit when they get a new job. I know you help them career counseling and everything. And I tell you something, on that day, they look good. They go and get the job. And guess what they do after that? They hang that jacket and that suit or whatever that is in the closet, and they never back at that. And then guess what? They come in their true colors. I mean, they start wearing relaxed clothing. They start wearing t-shirts. They start wearing polos. They start wearing lousy clothes, and they look like hell. And I tell you something, if you might get promoted like maybe a couple of times, small promotion, but when you come to big promotion, you will never get promoted. I can assure you that in that look, because I know the top management, I know their mentality. You know what their mentality is? They are looking to promote only those people who look the part. And the irony of this is that they will never tell you. They will never tell you that you look bad. They will never tell you they are not promoting you because you look bad. You know why? Two reasons. One, they don't want to demoralize you. And the other one, they don't want to have a lawsuit on their hand. So something, they make a decision, you're going to just stay in that rut. And then guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to be depressed because you're not going to be promoted. You see people from right and people from left and people from behind and people from outside. They're all getting promoted except you. Sorry, you're in counseling, career counseling. Please make this point to them. Tell them this. Don't take it lightly. And I tell you something, I have seen so many people so qualified, so deserving to go at the top, and they take people from outside this and that. So why should you be depressed? And I've seen people, they will leave the company. They will start bad-mouthing the company because it's not promoting them. They will start bad-mouthing their bosses. They will even leave the company. They will even leave the city, but they will never know what the problem is. The problem is themselves. It's not there. I mean, look, as far as the talent is concerned, I'm sorry, you're sitting in Dubai, and I know that you're up shoulders with a lot of other people, very successful. Sure, can anybody succeed? Can anybody survive in a corporate environment if he's not smart, if he's not, talented, if he or she's not up to the mark, and if or she's not performing? Can anybody survive? People will get fired from right and left if they're not. So why are they not getting promoted? The only thing is they're capable and qualified, but they don't look the part. So that's the position. So if you are a C-level guy, if you don't look like C-level, you can still write the checks and you have all this authority in the world and nobody's going to obviously challenge you. Let me tell you this, you will not have that impact that you should have on your organization. Even for that matter, Mark Zuckerberg, there's a lot about said that, he wears a t-shirt, jeans, and this and that whole bit. And Hamid, where you come from the same country, and why you're promoting profession. This guy is a top guy, successful guy, business guy. I'll tell you this, 2008, if you remember this, the people have been around since that time. 2008, there was a big market crash. And 2009, Facebook didn't know whether they're going to survive or not. A lot of companies didn't know whether they were going to survive or not. So guess what Mark Zuckerberg did? He had a big email telling everybody this is the most important, most serious year of our life or company's life. And he said, get serious, and I'm going to give you with words, he gave them the message and he sent this email. But he knew that this may not sink in. And you know what he did? To give them symbolically that how serious and important this year is, he wore a shirt and a tie for the entire 2009. You can Google it out in Forbes magazine. You can run up these articles and you can see that. Now, this is a man. Right. So how do you communicate? How do you communicate your seriousness? How do you communicate your importance? How do you communicate your significance? How do you communicate that people should listen to you? I'm not promoting that you should wear like $1 million suit. Come on, man. You're much more smarter than this.
True.
So
True.
anyway, that's the third position. And position, you gotta be careful about this. You gotta look the part. If you're the middle
Got it.
management guy, you should look like a middle management guy. If you are a lower management guy, then obviously, you could also overdress, by the way. Let's say you just got the job and now you go on there and you're wearing Sarmani suit and then you're wearing tie pins and you're wearing pocket square, then you're wearing a Rolex watch. I mean, this would be overdressing. If I was the CEO, I would say, hey, what is this guy taking over the company? I mean, I just gave him the job. So overdressing is not good either.
Right.
So the
Right.
last part, my friend,
Okay.
is
Yeah.
where I spent 20 some years. I tell you something, I have been in the trenches for 20 some years. I did consultation for KPMG. I did a consultation for Deloitte. I did consultation for not only dress their guys, but also train their people, hundreds in droves. And, you name them, Price Waterhouse, something young financial sector, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, you talk about Goldman Sachs, you talk about big names, Chase and American Express and all that. The reason I'm saying this is I got to know them. I got to see them. And I tell you something, if you don't dress your profession, what you are, you're a lawyer, you should look like a lawyer. You are a banker, you should look like a banker. You are a judge, you should look like a judge. If you're a marketing guy, you should look like a marketing guy. I mean, you should look. I had a marketing guy just in my showroom about 20 minutes ago, marketing manager. And I said, sir, I said, you look very plain. You look like a banker. I said, sir, if you are coming to me and you want to show me all these creative campaigns and all this, I will look at your dressing. I will say, are you from a bank or you're an accountant or something? I will not take it. Maybe you are the most creative guy. Maybe you are, but you don't show it. So you have to look your profession. These are the 5 P's. And I tell you something, if you follow these 5 P's and if you understand them, if you internalize them and you apply them, because if you don't apply them, it's like reading any book, and which makes sense, and then you don't apply it. But if you apply it, I tell you something, you will never make an interesting mistake. I can guarantee you this.
Amazing. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Here I got one question, and where I wanted to reach also after a while, but because this question came from Sari Shaltaf, I would like to ask you. We are most of the time till now talking about men's dressing. Can you please tell now about female dressing, and particularly because she's from Pakistan and the culture, society, what kind of workplaces are there? So can you tell something about females dressing, that what they should adopt the moment they will go for their job interview and during their day-to-day?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I just want to let you know that I do. You mentioned Civil Service Academy. I mean, I do, training over there. And by the way, 40% of the participants over there are women. I mean, so more power to them. They are making 40%, my friend, of that full concentration of women. So my presentation, not gender specific. All these 5 P's that I said, it applies to men and women both. Imagine if a woman is wearing the wrong color. Imagine if she was wearing the wrong style. Imagine, but then I will give you more tips on that. Okay, so 5 P's are, it applies to a man, a woman, a kid. I mean, anybody. I know kid doesn't have any profession or that. But anyway, let's talk about specifically about women. Okay, there are a few things that I would talk to this young lady here. The first thing is in Pakistan. I mean, I will say the dressing mistake. So maybe that will kind of elaborate on what I want to say. Number one, I see mostly women, or working women, they're wearing prints. I mean, they're wearing these designs. I mean, printed the dupatta, printed this, printed that, printed that. Then on top of that, also many of them wearing, embroidery here, embroidery here, embroidery here, embroidery all over. Then I see them wearing very, very shiny clothes, party clothes, this, that, whole bit. I tell you something, big no-no, big no-no. I tell you, for women, because I'm more sympathetic. My sisters, they're working women. I come from a strong family of women, and all that. And I tell you something, I come from America, and America is, I would say, the champion of women's rights and all that. But I got to tell you some stats here, which are very disturbing. Okay, more than
Hmm.
50% women, more than 50% women who are graduating from top schools. Like you talk about Harvard, you talk about Wharton School of Pennsylvania, you talk about Stanford, talk about all the
Hmm.
Yale and all that. More than 50%
Right.
women are graduating from their top school. And guess what? How many women are there in the top positions? Just recently, they got up to 30%, 33%. So that means more than
True.
50%
True.
graduation, more than 50, and look at the top position. So that means there's some sort of a hidden discrimination against them. And it's a man's
Yeah.
world. So how does the men look like? Look at this. And so let me tell you a
Hmm.
few things that I think that could blow your career. Number one, tight clothes. Don't wear tight clothes. I tell you something. If you wear tight clothes, your career is it's not gonna go. It's not gonna.
Hmm.
You're not gonna climb up the corporate ladder. Again, lot
Hmm.
of prints, lot of prints, lot of prints. Okay, what are you trying to prove with the prints? I tell you two very important women in Pakistan, and you may know their names. I mean, you must know their names, and this young woman must know their name. One was Benazir Bhutto. I'm not making political statement here, but
True. Hmm.
go there and Google up her pictures. You will see
Understood.
very rarely that she might have been. So what is she wearing? She's wearing solid colors, plain color. Then, okay, that doesn't mean that you have to not look feminine. That doesn't mean that you don't look pretty. I mean, she does the
Hmm.
piping, called trimming and all that. Beautiful dresses, number one woman. The other woman is Hina Rabani. She used to be the foreign minister of Pakistan.
Agreed.
I mean,
Yeah.
elegant lady. Oh my God, it's like most. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, she has a style. And look at that again, all solid colors. And as she
True.
has Eastern, the butter, all that, I mean, you can't be more Eastern than that. Okay, that woman. And then you look at, I mean, you recently saw the prince and princess came to Pakistan from England. I
True.
mean, saw that lady, that princess over there in Pakistan. First of all, I was so proud that she showed respect to our culture and the way she was
Hmm.
dressed. I mean, no low necklines. She was covered properly. Again, most of the dressing was like plain color. If she had embellishment of, you can have embellishment of buttons, is that okay? I would say don't do that. Makeup. If you do very, very, like a lot of makeup, I think it's not gonna work. Again, it's gonna. The
Hmm.
problem is that it's gonna be distraction for people that you work with. You want attention because if it's a distraction, they will not pay attention to what you have to say, and they will pay attention to
Hmm.
what you're wearing. So you have to ask for attention. Attention means you look decent, you look refined, you look polished, you look sophisticated. And I look at a lady like that, and I say, I mean, jewelry is minimal, makeup is,
Hmm.
moderate. Clothing is just, right. I mean, I not very loose clothing, not very tight clothing. The shoes are not high heels. The shoes are right shoes. And she looks at the nice handbag and the nice. I mean, I would listen to her all day long. I would say, okay, ma'am, tell
Hmm.
me. If I were her subordinate, I would say, okay, tell me, ma'am. If I was her superior, I would say, okay, tell me your ideas. So the problem is
Hmm.
with working women is this in Pakistan. And by the way, throughout the world, this formula that I told you, that's for throughout the world. I have not seen. I've worked with like all these big names there, and over there,
Hmm.
there's a lot of women working there. I have not seen one woman go up the corporate ladder dressing that way. So I would say avoid that.
Great. I hope, Sarish, this was the answer and quite valuable tips which Hamid gave. I'm sure it will help you in your while next time you'll be choosing your wardrobe. So we are talking about a lot of things, and considering the limitation of time, Hamid, can I ask you that? Can you please suggest how people can build a budget-friendly wardrobe? Like even if it's a male or if it is a female, you mentioned that they do not have to go for Armani or Gucci or kind of a brand in order to impress their potential employer or their colleagues or their customers. But I have seen that in a lot of culture, that a lot of societies, these things does matter. People respect those people who are wearing expensive clothes. So let's talk about the young graduates and professional people at their workplace, whether they are male or female, how they can build a budget friendly wardrobe, like how many dresses, how many suits they should take.
Right. Okay. All right. In your question, you have two, three questions. So let me just break them down and tell you that. The first question is
Sure,
about
sure.
brand. get that out of the way, because you said
Mm.
like people get impressed with the brand. I have seen even people like, they love this brand so much that they have the label here and they don't even take it off, and they want to show like I'm wearing Armani. I mean, biggest
I
fashion mistake you can ever make. I saw a guy in, I'm in Lahore right now. I saw a guy in Emporium, and he was like, wearing this Armani suit, this, that, whole bit. And, he was with his family, and he was like walking this tall walk, and his nose was up there. He thought he looked like a peacock. Maybe he did look like a peacock. But when I saw that he had this big, label here, I knew this guy probably doesn't know much about clothing. So let me tell you this. So let's talk about brand. You have two choices. Either you can represent a brand, or you could like have this as your identity, or you could be your own personal brand.
mm,
I would suggest humbly that you should be on your personal brand. Think of this. This world is like about so many billions of people. So if they're all
mm,
commodity. They're all commodity unless you build your brand. So once you're going to build your brand, you're going to become more valuable. And then you're building. How you're going to build your brand? Brand is always consistent. I mean, you look around, look at McDonald's, that long. Like, imagine one day is like very skinny, one day is fat, one day is like, too flat or something like that. I mean, would it look like a brand? Would people trust it? No way. And same thing with you. One day you're wearing very tight clothes, one day you're wearing very loose clothes, one day you're wearing like, hooded and ran and all that. I mean, come on, you're not going to look consistent. You're not going to be a brand. So for you to look like a brand and present yourself as a brand, you're going to have a consistent look, which I call a signature look. So you have to develop that. And how to develop that is go back to 5 P's of dressing. I guarantee
mm.
you, if you follow that, even I will go on the limb to say this: do not buy even a scarf, do not buy even a tie, do not buy even a shirt unless you run it through those 5 P's of dressing, because you will never make a mistake. By the way, that's where you start with, where you're going to have like the budget, which is like within your means and all this. Now, talking about budget, I'll make a larger point. This, I mean, I haven't seen you sell your wardrobe. I haven't seen all the people that who are participants here. I don't have privy to see that, but I can make one statement here that your closet right now, and in women so more than that, 60 to 70% of the clothes, maybe more percentage, you don't wear. You do not wear. So you wear what? 20, 30% of your clothes. So my friend, I
True.
gotta ask you a question. What happened to that 70%? How did it get in? How did it get into your closet? How did it get into your wardrobe? And by the way, did somebody give you free those clothes? I mean, like, no, you paid dearly to your. Now, what
Yeah.
happens? Why are you not wearing them? I tell you what, maybe the color is not good. Maybe the fit is not good. Maybe the style is not good. Maybe you say, something. Hey, I'm the top gun here. I mean, that color, I'm not gonna wear it. I mean, like, hey, this beneath me or this. So we make those buying mistakes, so we call.
Mm,
Stop making the buying mistakes. That's number one. Otherwise, you'll never. Otherwise, you will be again all of a sudden, like you always say that. Oh, I don't have enough money. I don't have. So that's number one. That's where you're gonna stop. So I work with capsule wardrobe idea. Capsule wardrobe idea is buy less, buy quality, and buy the right clothes. I'll tell you
right.
something. In your shirts, I don't know how many shirts you have, sir. I don't know how many. I tell you something. And the best shirt and the safest shirt and the more shirts you should have the white shirt. Why white shirt? Because white shirt's credible. White shirt's honesty. White shirt is pure. White shirt is like decent. White shirt is refined, polished, sophisticated, symbol of peace. And our Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he used to wear. He liked white shirt also. How could we go wrong? So how many white shirts you have? You may have tons of other shirts, but you don't have enough white shirt. So I would say that if you buy clothing, with that 5 P's in mind, and also keeping everything in place, you will create a wardrobe which will be very effective wardrobe.
Mm,
And the last thing I want to say about this is that it's a paradigm shift. You have to go through the paradigm shift. If you think clothing is an expense, which most of the people
mm,
do all over the world, by the way, they do that. So you think expense. So when expense comes to your mind, what's the next thing comes to your mind? The next thing which comes to your mind is, okay, lower the expense. I mean,
true.
you don't want to have that much expense. So how do you lower
Mhm.
the expense when you talk about clothing, when you talk about your wardrobe? You know what? I tell you what, everybody does that. They say, okay, I'm gonna wait until I get that thing on sale, or I'm gonna buy something
Mm,
that's really damn cheap. And guess what
This
happened?
happens.
You
Yeah.
go there and buy that thing on sale, my 5 piece goes out of the window. I mean, the shirt is like too long, the sleeve is too long. And something, I've seen people, and I've seen with my own eyes, and sometimes I talk to them and say, what's the big deal? That's if his sleeve is too long. He said, I will do it all day long. I will just make it short like this. And then if it's too big
Mm,
here, I'll tuck it in all day long. Imagine about this
mm,
guy's touching his clothes all day long, crying out loud. So how's he going to look professional? How's he going to look professional? It's insane. So people buy it on sale, and then they look silly and they look stupid sometimes. So my advice is this: buy less, buy the right clothes, and think of clothes as investment. When is that you made
right.
a bad investment? I mean, it turned out to be bad investment, something different. But when did you consciously, like say, hey, I want to make a bad investment? I mean, people buy apartments, people buy houses. Sometimes they look for a right house
Mm,
for a year. They buy
mm,
land, piece of land with build a house. They go out there, they talk to 100 dealers, and they say, okay, do you have schools here? Do you have gas here? Do you have people go for education? They go for the best education. They say, no, I'm not gonna go to this college, I'm not gonna do this school. This school's not gonna make me marketable and all. But when it comes to clothing, he says, I have no money, I have no budget. I'm just gonna come on, give me a break. So I think that I'm not saying that you spend millions of dollars on this, but come on, you should look the part. I mean, treat yourself nicely. Now, if you have time, I can tell you how many suits you should have, how many shirts you should have, how many ties you should have. It's up to you.
That's exactly I wanted to ask. Like, is there any some minimum or some basic wardrobe which, as a male or as a
Absolutely,
female, any basic colors they should
absolutely,
have? At
absolutely,
least if today they
absolutely.
think that, okay, as you mentioned, that honestly speaking, yes, there was a time that I was having over 100 shirts in the wardrobe, but then I reached to that point when I thought that how many do I wear? There are some shirts which even I didn't open their packings, and then I have to give it away or something in the charity or
Well,
whatever. So
here you go.
the question is that what are the basic colors? Though I will
I
say that
will.
maybe now going back to your 5 Ps, maybe I'm not asking the right question, but still a lot of people who are
No,
watching
no, the
right
right
now.
colors. You are
uh,
asking the right question. No, you are asking the right
Yes,
question.
okay.
You are
So
asking the right
a
question.
lot of
Now
people
let
who
me
want to
answer.
ask this thing, that is there any basic thing, a fundamental, that as a
Absolutely,
female I should have these two,
absolutely,
three, and as a male I should have these two,
absolutely,
three, which I can wear? Go ahead, please.
absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk about categories of clothing first. First is the formal clothing. Formal clothing means suits. Suits mean nested suits.
Sure.
Same color
Yeah.
jacket, same color pants. So, sometimes people don't understand what suit is. Okay. I mean,
Hmm.
in Pakistan, sometimes they think suit is shalwar kameez, I mean, like, so I have to clear it up. Okay. So we're talking about nested suit. Let me tell you the four basic colors you should have. And you could even start with one basic colors if you are coming out of the gates and you don't have a lot of money to spend on clothing. I will tell you even
Hmm.
that color. By the way, first one is black. Black is power. You have to, every gentleman, every woman should have a black suit in their closet, because that's the most powerful
Right.
suit, that's the most solid, that's reliable. When you need it, you're going to put it with a white shirt and the red tie. And then I tell you something, that is a power look, dynamics of power. So you have to have a black suit. Second, if, let's say, for example, you're not going to have all the basics, then this is the next suit that you should have. Only one suit, that's the dark navy. Now, why dark navy? Dark navy means dark navy has authority just like black suit, but it also has approachability. So you are in
Hmm.
sales, you are seeing clients, you are seeing people that you don't have to look that intimidating. It's not a power struggle there, a power dynamic. So that dark navy is a beautiful color, beautiful suit. And the other two benefits in dark navy is these. Number one, that it's very approachable. Number two, it falls well with all socioeconomic level people. In other words, you can have a meeting with a very high net worth person who's way up there than your financial status. He will treat you just like equal, because that color residue just love that also. And then the lower middle class will also respect you. And the last benefit of this is you can wear the heck out of it. You can wear it every single day. I mean, nobody will know that you are wearing a navy suit as long as you change with the shirts and the ties and all this. But black suit, if you wear it every day, how many people will know? I mean, people can say, "Oh, here comes the guy, with the black suit again.
Mm,
He's the only one." So those are two suits that I would say, navy, dark navy for men and women. That would be your most essential. These are we're talking about basics, okay? Then the third suit is the gray suit. I mean, in gray, I usually have three colors: light, mid, and charcoal gray. Charcoal gray is beautiful. If you don't want to look too intimidating black, that is your best friend. So these are the basic colors for men and women both. Okay. By the way, they can also be applied in shalwar kameez, Eastern clothing, and for women also. If someone listening from Pakistan, they could be easily applied. Even in for men, they could be. The second category is business casual. I mean, this is where
mm,
the biggest confusion is. People have formal clothing, and then they have the streetwear clothing, which I call streetwear. They have t-shirts, they have jeans, they have chinos, this, that, whole bit. So they don't know anything in the middle. They don't own anything in the middle. They don't understand how the middle works. The middle is, my friend, business casual, smart casual. And I tell you something,
mm,
that doesn't come without a jacket. You have to have a jacket. You have to have a blazer. And then again, the best blazer you can own is a navy blazer, maybe a little bit brighter than your darker navy suit. And this is
mm.
one outfit I'm going to tell you. You can have this outfit and you can go from here to Dubai, to Milan, to Paris, to Frankfurt, to wherever, and then come back to Lahore and Karachi in one outfit. And, if that's only you're allowed to carry. That's
True.
navy jacket, gray slacks. If you're shorter, I will wear darker gray slacks because I don't want to divide myself into half and look like 2.5 foot tall. So anyway, so darker, I would say lighter mid grays, and then I will wear a white shirt, open collar if I want to, and have a nice belt, nice shoes. Maybe I'll wear some loafer, nice. Maybe I won't wear dress shoes with that. But I won't wear anything clip-ons, and I will not wear a lot of tassels, and I will not wear. So anyway, nice shoes, nice belt, and nicely made. This outfit, and then if you want to dress it up, wear it with a tie. I mean, you are all dressed up. I mean, again, if it's not required that you have to wear suits, okay, that's the second outfit. And you want to something for the office wear? It's the best. It's the best for office wear. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, I cannot look. I travel. I do this. I do that." They look in justification for me that I should allow them. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Okay, so you could do that. But I give you
mm,
one little tip. First of all, the world is looking at you every day. Every meeting is very important. You cannot be defensive. You cannot say, "Oh, sir, I didn't know you were coming. Oh, sir, oh, client, I didn't know that you were going to meet me today. Sir, well, had I known, I would have done this, that." You know something? Have that navy
true.
blazer in your office. I mean,
Right.
if you are a professional, I'm sure you have a place to hang a jacket. I mean, you can't say, "Oh, I have no room." So have that. Also have extra white shirt in your office. Guess what happens? Things happen. I mean, maybe
Mm,
you spill a tea over you or a coffee over you, and you have an important meeting coming. What are you going to do? What are you going to say? "Oh, sir, I'm sorry." I mean, no, there's no. It's like dog eats the dog. I mean, it's a very competitive world out there.
mm,
Nobody's gonna cut you a break. Nobody's gonna cut you slack. So I would say that outfit is excellent. And now you can expand that outfit. Let me tell you how to expand this outfit. Now you got your good white shirt. By the way, that white shirt which goes with all your suits. Now look at this, the permutation combination. If you understand this, with one white shirt, how many outfits can you create? And let's say with 4 power ties, we didn't talk about power ties. I mean, I see a lot of ties. Ties are so. I mean, people make huge mistakes with that, and they buy expensive suit, and they have a hideous tie on. They have a flowery tie,
mm,
they have a statement tie, they have a animal prints. This that. I asked them, I said, "Sir, why are you wearing this tie?" And he said, "Oh, this is an icebreaker." And I said, "Icebreaker?" I said, "Why you are not an icebreaker? Why your presentation is not an icebreaker? Why your opening statement is not an icebreaker?" So anyway, wrong ties. So I would say that if I want to talk about power ties, there are only four power ties. Number one, solid ties. Solid color ties are power ties. You can wear them and they give you a lot of combinations. Look very classic, very refined, very polished. The other tie is the polka dot tie, very British tie, very aristocratic tie. You can wear that. I mean, I tell you something. You could look stylish, and at the same time, you could also look like very professional. And the third tie is the texture tie. From a distance, it looks like it's a plain collar tie, but when you come closer, it has a beautiful texture. Very sophisticated tie. I mean, you're gonna go to sophisticated crowd and everything. I mean, that's a great tie. And the last tie is the rep ties. Those diagonal ties. So you have only those four types of ties, my friend. In the colors, don't go too loud. Stay in the neutral colors. Stay in the blue. Stay in the gray. Stay in the, even the red and the maroons and all that. They're gonna work beautifully with that. So those ties, and that I said navy jacket, and then the blazer, and then you can have, let's say, for example, with that small gingham checks shirts, maybe two or three different colors, maybe blue, and then you have a little, maybe a baby pink, or maybe you'll have a baby lavender, and so that you can add color to your life and everything. And when you go out and all this, you go to a country club, you go to people ask me like, okay, what do you have, an office setting, and it's a kind of a semi-casual kind of what should I wear? I would say wear your navy blazer, and then you should wear like that your gingham check shirt, which is a very British shirt. And if you want to look a little bit more, I would say add panache to it. Put a nice bucket square. That will add a little panache to it. That will take you like a notch above. So those are things. And then you can wear them with different color pants. There are 4 or 5 pants that you want to know, basic colors. And don't deviate from them. Don't take any other color. Don't buy any other color. Don't throw your money into the drain. Number one, black pen. Black pen, black pair. How could you go wrong with a nice black pair pen? Nice fitting, nice, taper. Everything is not too wide. It's not too skinny, and this just covers your body. Beautiful, gives you a nice profile. Okay. Second, the grays. The grays are like I would say we go 3 grays: light gray, mid gray, charcoal gray. Beautiful that. And then you have navy. Navy is a beautiful color to have as a pant. And then khaki color. The khaki tannish color. Beautiful. Can you imagine that you're wearing that blazer? You have the golden buttons here. Then you have khaki blazer there. Then you have brown shoes with that. And then you have brown, but I mean, you will look like you fell off the GQ magazine, the cover. I mean, you will look like a cover boy. I mean, and something. How much would it cost? $1 million? And maybe $500,000? Maybe like $250,000? I mean, I'm saying it sarcastically. How much would it cost? How much would a white shirt cost? I mean, my friend, let me tell you this. I am, I get very excited about this because, so those are the kind of your things. And then when you get into weekend wear, to me, that's weekend wear. To me, that's like, when you want to, kick up, want to go to the park and kick the ball, or you want to have friends coming over, you want to have a barbecue, this, that whole bit. Then you take out your weekend wear, and then you take out your t-shirts, and then you would take out your polos and tees, and then you take out your chinos, and then you take out your jeans, but not in the office environment. Not, no, my friend. I won't like that. Don't minimize yourself. Don't minimize your credibility. Don't minimize your percent. You are a brand. Remember, whether you like it or not, you're a brand. Whether you know it, you're not a brand. You're a brand. You're not. You are a brand. You need to present yourself as a brand. You need to promote yourself as a brand. You need to make your brand famous. And your brand, not Armani brand, and not like Zara brand, and not like any other brand. So this is what I have to say. And then last, if you'll give me, I want to give you a message, very, very short and brief, so that, this will wrap up things. And okay, message is this.
I think so. Hamid. One thing is missing. That's for the female, like the basic fundamental colors for female, especially when we are talking about Pakistani female. Do you have anything different, or they will go with the same colors?
No. Look, they are working in the same environment. They're working in the same corporate environment. Yes, they can have like a red. I mean, they're red, they're black and red. I mean, men cannot wear a red suit. Like Hillary Clinton used to do that, red power suit. I mean, again, very nicely made and everything. They can experiment with a few more colors also. But again, the thing is this, that it should not be like very, very loud colors. It should not be, like I said, that too much prints and all that. If they avoid that and they go into solid colors, I mean, what's the white shirt for them? What's the white shirt? Maybe the hijab, maybe it's the butta, some integration of white here. I mean, you can do that. You can get the same effect. And if you look at that, Hina Rabani said, I mean, she looked fabulous in white. And then she had other colors also. You can check it out. So I would go like, the very professional colors, and and the rest of the things that I said. And by the way, if you
Right.
go to Western clothing or you want to have fusion, there's the fusion also. I see a lot of girls, a lot of women. Good, hey, listen, more power to you if you want to carry that. I mean, I don't tell you which should you do, Eastern, Western,
Hmm.
fusion, but there's a lot of good things over there. And then you can carry that jacket. And jacket doesn't have to be too tight for women. Men maybe it's a little bit tight, but women we can be a little bit more forgiving. Maybe it's a little bit longer length for Pakistan and everything. We are an Islamic country, we are a conservative country, and we should respect that. I will never say that, oh, just don't care and do whatever the heck you want to do. So those are the things that I was so. So anyway, let me get to the final message. The final message is two
Yes,
messages.
please.
Number one, uh, that look, you heard a lot of things from me. You heard 5 P's. You so passionately I'm trying to tell you that how, so there are, you could, where you're going to go with all this, where you're going to go, where you're going to shop. That's basically the point. Number one, you have a
Hmm.
choice. You can go to a designer and say, hey, I heard this 5 piece of dressing, just dress me. And many of you will not be able to afford it. First of all, they're focusing out on professional clothing anyway. Even if you go there,
Right.
they're gonna make you look like a unique person or some occasion, this, that, whole bit, very loud kind of thing. So, from a budget point of view, and also the look they're gonna create, maybe they're not the best option. Second thing, you might go to a brand, like you go to the brand, and brand. I tell you something, brands that never ask you what do you do for a living. They just, whatever you touch, whatever you feel, whatever you put on, oh, it's made for you. So brand is not a great choice for you. Again, you will have to make a lot of compromises because of your body type, this and that. The third option is you can go to a tailor, and you can go to a, tailor, good people and all that, but they have no aesthetic sense. They ask you like, okay, what do you want? I mean, so you don't know
Hmm.
much, he doesn't know much, so blind leads the blind. So the fourth option is there that now it's like mushrooming all over the world. There are consultants like me. They will sit down
Hmm.
with you, or they will do online consultation with you, and they will talk to
True.
you. They will find out who you are, what are you doing, what's your vision, and they will help
Hmm.
you. Just like you asked me, and then get very specific. Okay, all right, okay, sir. This is your position. In 2 years where you see yourself, 5 years where you see yourself, and they are, they could really, really help you go through
Hmm.
this maze and then come up with narrow down the options when you say, okay, this should be the clothing. And then they may even suggest you where you should go to get that kind of clothing
Hmm.
made. If you're in Pakistan, I
True.
do that. If you happen to be in Pakistan, you can get the consultation. If you're overseas, you can get a consultation from me and I can guide you where to go. In every country, there are places that you can go to and have those kind of clothes made. So, but let me get to the larger message. And by the way,
Hmm.
I don't know whether you're going to put out my number there. If you do, I mean that would be, I appreciate that. 0322
Sure.
33 I'll repeat it, 0322 WhatsApp. Now the larger message is this. This is the, I would say, my closing on my this whole hour long marathon here, or hour and a half long. Look, when you're gonna get in the morning and you're gonna get ready, think about something. Think about who you're going to be meeting. Think about what images you should project. Think about what they perceive of you. Think about what image that people want to see you in. And then look at your clothing, look at your image, and look at the full view mirror. I mean, from top to bottom. Look at the full package, and then ask yourself, do I look successful in it? Do I look confident in it? Do I look trustworthy in it? Do I look educated in it? Do I look all the things that I said? If you don't, my friend, go back to your closet, change it. Because I tell you something, it's not going to work. You're not going to have impact. And the last thing I would say is that you have to do it every day, not like one day. Not like, you look very good, great one day, and the other day you look somewhat great, and the third day you look like, hey, are you the same person?
Right.
So you got to have a signature look, and so you have to do it. I was reading Tony Robbins. You
Yes.
must have heard about this guy, Tony
Mhm.
Robbins. The big life
Yeah.
coach. You know what he said to me? And yesterday I was listening to his tape. And by the way, I have taken his live lessons and all that. I mean, it's a great guy. You know what he said? He said, unless you make it a habit, unless it becomes a ritual,
Hmm.
you're not gonna make the change. You're not gonna make the change.
True.
You're gonna go back to the old ways. So what's the ritual here? Every morning you're gonna ask yourself, every morning. You will know your meetings. You know who you're going to be seeing. You're
Mm,
going to be. So I would say that do that every day. If make me happy because I work so hard, I give you my 100%. So I'm on your side. So do that, and you will see. You will start putting pressure on you. You will start weeding out things. You will say, "Hey, this shirt, hey man, this shirt is not. No, no, no. It doesn't look. It's not
right.
according to my position. It's not according to my profession." So all those five pieces are going to come to your mind, and that's my message. And I hope that you look great, start looking great, create your signature look, make your own brand, and make your brand famous. And let's celebrate. You should celebrate who you are. You should celebrate your
True.
physique. You should celebrate how you look and everything. And then I
Mm,
tell you something, go conquer the world.
great. That's a beautiful message. I have one question particularly, and probably this is the last question, because nowadays we are seeing that more and more whether we are talking with our clients, we are having business meetings, we are conducting like some sessions, webinar, or we are having some other things to do. Most of the time, due to this COVID situation, we are sitting in front of the camera, we are sitting in front of our computer. So, do you want to comment something, Mr. Hamid, that the dressing, the shirt, whether it's the pattern, is the lining, is the check, and the background, like how it should look like, or if you have any tips where people can make this look more
Absolutely.
impressive?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I will say this. If you're a trainer and if you are a coach, and if you are, if you are doing that, then, I mean, obviously clothing has to reflect authority. And I would go, I'll wear a tie. I will definitely wear a tie. I just gave you an example of Mark Zuckerberg, who wanted to, show that
Mm,
how serious and important that year was. And he wore a tie, all that. So I will wear a tie in that case. If you are a host and you are bringing people on the show, different expertise, this and that, and you have a nice ambiance and all this, and you want to have a relaxed kind of, I mean, I like what you're wearing. I like you're wearing I mean, I think it's a dark, maybe a dark navy jacket that I've been promoting
yeah,
all night
yeah,
long here, and you have a very
yeah.
nice with this. It's a striped shirt. Is that what you're wearing? That I
Yes,
can
it's
see
the
from
side.
that
Yeah,
far. Okay,
yeah.
so you look very well put together. I mean, you look more relaxed. And this is your job. You're making the host relax and this and that, and so and people are looking at you. You look very professional because you're bringing professionalism here. You're bringing professional people, professional expert. So if you look like
Mm,
not you, but if anybody looks like hell. I mean, it would be a distraction, a big distraction. So I would say for you, I think it's perfect. I mean, even if you want to experiment with those kingdom check shirts, but again, this is for you to decide how casual you want to look. This is you. I mean,
right.
like I know I always like formal clothing. I mean, people ask me, hey, you wear tie like 14 hours a day, 16 hours. How could you do that? I said, how could you be without tie 14, 16 hours a day? I mean, this is my kind of an answer on that. So I would say that, as far as and then I like your background. I like the, lamp over there. I like your little, those, picture frames there. I think you look perfect. You look fantastic. But again, it's up to you if you
Thank
want to
you.
wear a tie. If you will wear a tie, I will take you more seriously. I mean, that's my take on it.
Mm.
But that's your choice.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for your time, Hamid Saeed. I know that you are a busy guy, and I have to appreciate your time and all the contribution. And I'm sure that people who are watching us, their feedback is coming, how they are appreciating it, and all these things are, that I talk about soft skills, and I always tell to people that soft skills are so much basic that most of the time we ignore that. But its importance is too huge in our career success. And the same, I will say that dressing, this is something that we really take so much light. But as I have heard from you, I have done a little bit of my research, and I have seen practically that how much impactful this thing is, that what we are wearing and how we are presenting. And Jeff Bezos, Amazon's owner, he says that your personal brand is something which people talk about you when you are not present there. So we have to consider these things, that how we are going to build our signature dressing and our appearance and our look. Thank you so much for your time, and we will look
Inshallah.
forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for inviting me. And I appreciate all the participants. I mean, I can't see them, but I really appreciate you. You gave us so much time to and paid attention to what I had to say and all that. And I wish you the best. Thank you. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. And any and everyone who is watching this program or later will be watching on YouTube, this is going to be available. Simply either you can Google Hamid Saeed, wardrobe consultant. You can find him out on LinkedIn, and as the contact number he has given, which I'm going to put in the comments section of today's this video as well as in the description. Please reach him out, and he is going to make your life easy, as I'm trying my level best to sit with one person each and try to build their career and give them a consultancy about the career, about the education. Same is the thing which he's gonna do. One size does not fit all. You cannot build a house of 1,000 square feet into just when you are having a space of 200 square feet. So it means that you have to think wisely and sensibly. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much, Hamid Saeed. Take care of yourself.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Goodbye.